Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Ladarius Burgess and I'm coming to you with another video. And in this video, basically, I'm going to be talking about my experience as an Amazon delivery driver. Now, if you're watching this video, I'm pretty sure that this is probably your first time, or you're looking into being an Amazon delivery driver and you're just kind of curious as to what goes on in the life of a delivery driver. Now, at the time of this recording, I do not currently work as a delivery driver out of decision, and it's not because I hate it or nothing. I actually like doing it. I'm not gonna lie to you, but because I moved and stuff like that, you can watch it in my other video. I actually moved back to Illinois, but I used to live out in Seattle. So I'm basically gonna break down from the start to basically like the ending of it, or whatever. What was my team like, and what everything was like, basically. So pay attention to this video and like keep your ears open. So like listen. So basically, when I started off, I was kind of like just looking around for some, you know what I mean, kind of get some cash flow in. And I learned, I'm going to give you guys everything in this video, by the way. I'm going to get the pros, I'm going to get the cons of the video. So like I said, listen up, because this is important. Because a lot of times for me, what I would see, what a lot of people, they apply to be an Amazon delivery driver and they don't know what comes with it. So I'm going to break down everything in this video. So when you first start off, basically, you got to go through a background and a drug test. So I'm gonna just lay it out right there. So if you smoke weed, you do anything that's out of the norm, you're gonna pop, you know what I'm saying? So what they do is, so I'm gonna say this is how my process went. Basically, I did a phone interview. Like, I didn't even go in. I didn't see the manager or nothing. Like, I did a phone interview, full phone. The lady called me because I had applied through Indeed. The lady called me and she was like, yo, she was like, hey, so, you know, what's your experience with like delivery? And I just told her like I did like Lyft and Uber or something like that. And, you know, basically like they didn't care, because you gotta think about it. It's a delivery service partner for Amazon, right? And keep that in mind. It's these DSPs. So they're like always desperate for people, basically. And I'm not saying they're desperate, but that's kind of like how their thing whirls. They're willing to take anybody, and it's a really good, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's a really good place to work if you want to do it. But anyway, I did that and then transition into it, kind of, you know, cut it a little short. I applied, took the drug test like the next day, sent my background check in, boom, I go in, they give me the training, you know what I'm saying? So when you start, I don't know how everybody else starts, but you come in the mornings at the delivery service station, and you go to the dispatch desk. The dispatcher should be at the desk, or whatever the case may be. Like I said, I don't know how every station is. I just know how it worked out in Washington and in Renton. So you go up to the desk, you see the dispatcher for the day, and then the dispatcher kind of, you know, him and the manager works together, because he kind of like the assistant manager or whatever the case may be. But he basically, you know, he assign you a driver, and then like with your training, when you get training, you get a driver that's gonna train you for that specific day. So then once you go with the driver, he kind of show you. I had a dude, he was showing me like, you know, look. Now you gotta watch this too. Like when you're doing it, a lot of times drivers, they try to give you like little shortcuts and stuff. When you're first starting off, I do not recommend this, because how I like to do things is like, I'll get in and I like to get a feel for everything to know what you can and what you can't get away with. And so a driver was showing me stuff. Obviously, he was there for a year up to that point, so he knew what he was talking about a little bit to the point. But then I was like, you know, whatever. So but I did 2 days of driving, and then once you do 2 days, they put you on the road by yourself. So now this is where it gets, you know, kind of crazy. So and I did it at the worst time, man. I did it in like the peak, you know what I'm saying, November. No, actually it was October, November time. And this is basically when the orders are coming in. So another thing too, you got to be prepared for is when you're starting off, man, like start in a period where it's slow. You know what I mean? Like right now, it's what, September, so right now it's going to pick up in probably about October-ish, November. So that's something to keep in mind, by the way. But anyway, so a typical day in a delivery service driver days, like where you get anywhere from about 150 to about 300 packages, right? And but the thing is to not let that affect you, you know what I'm saying? Because what I used to see is a lot of people, they come in there and they see all these packages in the van, because you're driving these little Sprinter vans, right? And a lot of people see this, they see all these packages and they instantly like kind of get in fear. But it's really an easy job. It's cake, as long as you prepared mentally and you got like your things. Like me, I used to wear a back brace, like a little thing to keep my posture up, you know what I mean? Like make sure you have one of those. Make sure you have some decent shoes on, you know what I'm saying? You can really be comfortable. When I was working, they didn't really like enforce the uniform, so I kind of was like getting away with a lot of stuff. But I mean, even with the uniform, you're still pretty good. You know, I don't know how it is now due to the whole 19 thing, you know. I don't want to put the name out there. But yeah, so when you're starting, basically you come to the delivery service station. The dispatcher, he give you like a pick list, right? And this, like I said, this is my experience from what I was doing. They give you a pick list, right? And so when you gotta take the pick list, and the pick list might say something like FC12 or something, like, or I forgot how you see it, like B2C or something like that. I remember it was something like that. But anyway, you come in and basically like that's the packages. I know if you guys seen like on Amazon packages, they have like these little yellow stickers, or like these little stickers that's not aside from the shipping label. And basically on the sticker I have that thing that's basically like the order. So basically how it goes is the top part of the pick list goes in the back of the van, or however you load, because a lot of people would load differently, you know what I mean? I used to load from the bottom to the top, so I would put everything that was on the bottom of the list in the back of the van, basically, because with that's going to be like your last stop. Like that's going to be your last zone, basically, because it's supposed to signify as your zone. So when you get to that zone, you'll know like, okay, this is 2B2 or something like that, and you know that's your last zone. You might have like 15 more stops left in that stuff. So so you come in, boom, load up. You do that, like I said, from the basically from the bottom to the top or whatever, because the top will be your first stop, the bottom will be your last, so the last stop going back. So anyway, like I said, don't be too caught up in like the amount of packages you get, because I would get a shit ton of packages too. I would get like 300 packages and stuff like this. But mind you, this job personally for me, honestly, this is the type of people it's not for. It's not for old people. It's not for people who are going to get in there and they're just going to give up. Because when I'm saying old people, because a lot of times I never used to see old people last that long, you know what I'm saying, doing this. People who are like kind of big, they kind of used to do good with it, you know, but a lot of times they would give up. I used to see a lot of people quit, and I'll get more into that in a little bit. But yeah, so once you get your little schedule, you get your little pick list, they give you a CAT device, like it's like a phone, but it's a device. And then you'll get your Amazon was it Amazon Flex? It's an Amazon Flex app. You'll get your login and stuff like that. So you'll get your login, boom. Now once you get out on the road, like I said, I don't know how a lot of stations are. I'm gonna keep saying that because I really don't know how a lot of stations are. But when we used to get on the road, we had the freedom. When you're on the road, you can go to restaurants, you can go anywhere, you know what I'm saying, that you got to go. You just can't do nothing too crazy because they tracking you. They tracking you on this computer, and on the computer got like your initials in this little ball, and that's to signify basically where you're at. So I would always be wary of that if you're going to do it. They have new vans out now where like the vans will like record you and stuff like that, but I wouldn't get too caught up in all that. We didn't have none of those vans. Anyway, so you go out. Now if you're doing residential, 9 times out of 10 you're going to be doing anywhere from 75, maybe 70 to about 200 stops. Now mind you, in the back of the truck you got about 300 packages, so you got to do the math. Like some houses you're going to drop off 1 package, like literally per house if you do residential. Some houses you're going to drop off 4 or 5 packages at a time, you know what I mean? And they could be all small envelopes. You just scan them, boom, 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 and drop them off. Now in the app, when you scan, when you get to your first place, you got to swipe to finish at the station. I don't know how it is now. I think you still got to scan the bags before you leave and you load up, but that's, you know, that's something else. But you load up, and once you load up, you go on your first stop, you swipe to finish, boom. It's going to tell you, it's going to be a GPS basically in your phone, in your CAT device. It's going to tell you which first stop to go to. When you're going to go to your first stop, boom, you say arrived. That's you take it, you go in the back. Now, like, mind you, what I remember earlier when I said you have these zones, and these zones, they basically tell you if it's the right bag you're in. So that's another thing that help you out a lot. You know, like Amazon's system is dummy proof. It really is. It's dummy proof. If you ever like misplaced and put a bag in the wrong place, you can always kind of like reorganize your stuff. But you get to your first stop, boom, it might say 1112, you know, Jackson Street, you know what I'm saying? And then you'll find that package. It'll say Jackson Street, and then in the device it'll say the same thing, so it matches up. You scan it, boom. It's easy process, man. Commercial, if you're doing commercial, 9 times out of 10 you're going to be doing anywhere from about 20 to maybe 60 something, or even 70 stops. So once you're starting off, they do not put you in commercial, because commercial will crush you. It will crush your spirit, because you won't get done in time, especially if you're new and you don't have any experience with it. Commercial will crush you. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because commercial, it's a little more kind of like you're going to like these big. So with me, I was working out of Seattle, so where I was doing a lot of like downtown Seattle, so you really have to have like experience. Like they kind of, I think my first couple weeks in, they put me downtown, and I was like, yo, what is this? Because you got to know, if you know the city, you know, like these like downtown areas, there's never parking. And guys, I'm telling you, if you work commercial, like there's like the parking meter people, like they're on you the whole time. Like I used to have to like really have to negotiate with the guy, like, bro, don't give me a ticket, you know what I'm saying? Even though the company will pay for the tickets, you do not have to pay for the tickets. I repeat, you do not pay for the tickets. But the guys will just like write you up, and it's like, it's so crazy. As a delivery driver, you only have a certain amount of time, so they give you 10 hours a day, you know what I'm saying? So you don't have to, you have 10 hours basically, you know what I'm saying? So you work 4 days. You do have the option to work 6 days if you want to. Me, when I first started, I was hungry, so I used to work 6 days all rip, you know what I mean? Like and then sometimes I would work even a 7. My manager, he was sometimes just throwing me the 7-day, you know what I mean? Even though he wasn't supposed to, but he didn't care, man, because he saw I was on it. But and then when they need drivers too. It's like Amazon is like the most in demand, you know what I mean? So they always need people. So that's another thing to keep an eye on. But when you do commercial, man, like I said, if you don't start off trying to do commercial, you know what I mean, do residential, because residential gets you in the flow of things. Me, I used to get when I did residential, I would do anywhere from 120 stops to about the most stops I gotten was about 190 stops. Some people used to say they see like 200, but the most I've seen was 190. And that's because Amazon has like this algorithm where basically like they see you knock out 120, they give you 30 more stops the next day, but the packages don't increase necessarily. You'll get like 250 packages. Like I said, that's nothing, because what happens is you'll get those packages And like I said, like, you know, don't let the number of packages, you know, distort you or whatever, because it'll distort you and make you think like, oh man, I'm getting 250 packages, you know what I'm saying? But you don't let it distort you, because you'll get thrown off and be like, man, there's too many packages. I do not recommend this job to anyone if you're not like at least a little bit like a hard worker. And what I mean by that is like, you're gonna bust your ass to even deliver the packages. See, me, I always thought about it like this, and I want people to pay attention to this. You're delivering someone else's package, right? So you got to put yourself into the customer's shoe as well. So think of it like this. You want the guy who's delivering your package to deliver on time, right? So you're not going to half-ass it. You don't want him to half-ass it when he come to your house. You're going to make sure you get this package delivered. And it's always great reciprocity, because I order from Amazon, so I want my stuff on time. So I would always have that mindset too. The cons of it, man, if it rains or something, you know, it used to rain a lot in Seattle, so that used to be a pain in the neck. The money was great, obviously the money was great. So you know, really don't have much about the cons besides, like I said, if you're not athletic, it's going to be tough. If you're like a person who was sitting on your ass for like 2-3 years, and then all of a sudden you just want to go get this job, I'm telling you, you're going to quit because you're lazy. And if you're lazy, it's really going to be hard. But yeah, like, I mean, that was my experience with driving. And then like the manager eventually asked me, did I want to be the dispatcher? And then I eventually became the dispatcher. But I'm not going to talk about that in this video, because that's really not important. Just the only importance is you're trying to become a driver, and you really want to know your experience with it. But like I said, me, you know, I was just hungry, you know what I'm saying? If I wanted to eat, I was gonna eat. So I got in there, did delivery. You know, like I said, if you're gonna do it, but don't do it thinking it's gonna be sweet, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna get the packages, like I said, you're gonna get 250, 270, 300 packages, and you're gonna be able to fit everything in the truck, in the van, regardless, you know what I'm saying? Amazon is giving them bigger vans, so you're gonna be able to do it. But man, like seriously, besides the weather, and there's some days where it's like you're literally going to cut into the overtime. Like, you're going to get overtime because you're going to have to be out longer than 10 hours. And they call that, I think it's called UPD or something. UPD, yeah, unplanned delay. And that's like the DSP requesting like overtime hours for a specific driver, and they have to verify it. But yeah, man, so man, like, subscribe, and comment below, man, what you think I should touch on more on this video. Because like I said, I was working. I did it for like 1.5 years. And when I moved, I just came to another place. So obviously I didn't do it anymore. And plus the company was shutting down. So, but yeah, man, that's pretty much, I think I touched on everything. And then also, eventually you've been there for like a few little time, you can actually tell them like, yo, I want a certain area. But like I said, I don't know every station, I don't know every company, they might have different rules. But I used to be able to request certain areas. Like, sometime I want downtown, because downtown is actually pretty decent once you know the ins and outs and like know where to park at. Or if you just, but hey, if you're watching this video, obviously you're watching it for a reason, because you're really concerned about being an Amazon driver. But like I said, there's nothing like really bad about it I can really say about it. Besides, if you're not in shape or if you're just lazy, man, it's just going to be very tough for you. Get a back brace, and like I said, man, just go in there and just kick ass. So like I said again, like, subscribe, and comment below. Help me out. No, just playing. All right, y'all, cut that out.